Every morning, millions of people sit down to breakfast and make a mistake that strips their meal of its nutritional value. For 40 years, medical advice trained the public to fear eggs and discard the yolks, driven by a deep concern over dietary cholesterol. However, recent data has dismantled this fear. A study following 50,000 participants over a decade found that eating one egg every day was actually associated with a 26% reduction in stroke risk. This works because the human body is a dynamic system, not a static pipe. Your liver produces between 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams of cholesterol daily. By comparison, an egg contains only 180 milligrams. This triggers a thermostat effect. When you ingest cholesterol, your liver scales back production, maintaining equilibrium. The yolk also carries a compound called lecithin. These molecules act as a natural solvent, working to dissolve the cholesterol plaques that accumulate on blood vessel walls. The raw egg is equipped with its own protective chemistry. The physiological issues we associate with eggs typically occur because of changes that happen in the kitchen, rather than the nature of the yolk itself. The most common preparation, frying an egg in oil, regularly exceeds 180 degrees Celsius. At this point, the cooking method begins to degrade the very nutrients we're trying to consume. When the yolk hits that temperature threshold, the safe cholesterol inside mutates. It becomes oxidized cholesterol, an inflammatory variant that can penetrate the arterial walls and contribute to atherosclerosis. Overboiling eggs past the 12-minute mark presents a different problem. That gray-green ring around the yolk is a sign of hydrogen sulfide, which can irritate the digestive tract and marks the destruction of nearly half of the egg's vision-protecting lutein. Microwaving is even more aggressive. The uneven radiation can destroy 60% of the antioxidants in seconds, while creating superheated pockets that oxidize the yolk's fats instantly. Using extreme heat converts a highly affordable nutrient source into an inflammatory burden on the vascular system. The optimal method is a 5 to 6 minute boil. This ensures the core stays under 70 degrees Celsius, keeping the brain-supporting choline and the sulfur required for joint repair fully intact. Pairing choice is just as critical. The traditional breakfast of eggs with sausage and white bread introduces quick sugars and oxidized fats into the system simultaneously. This metabolic flood prevents the egg's lecithin from performing its protective work. For better results, eat your egg with a fresh tomato. The yolk's healthy fats serve as the ideal transport for the tomato's lycopene, increasing its absorption into the heart and vessels by 400%. Real sauerkraut is another powerful partner. The vitamin C in the cabbage acts as a chemical vehicle, assisting the body in pulling the yolk's iron content directly into the bloodstream. Most people over 50 can safely consume 1 to 2 eggs daily. However, for those managing type 2 diabetes, a more conservative limit of 3 to 4 eggs per week is recommended to accommodate their specific lipid metabolism. The egg's medicinal potential is realized only when it is prepared gently and combined with these synergistic, nutrient-unlocking ingredients. Historical data from centenarians suggests that how a culture consumes these proteins directly influences their longevity. In communities known for long lifespans, eggs are handled with specific ancestral techniques. We can adapt the Okinawan protocol using local staples. Place a soft-boiled egg over warm buckwheat for vascular strengthening rutin, and finish with lemon juice, olive oil, turmeric, and fresh greens. Digestion also relies on the thermal rule. Eating this meal while it is warm, matching your body's internal 37-degree temperature, allows your digestive enzymes to function at their highest capacity. Even the discarded shells offer value. Washing, drying, and grinding them into a fine powder creates a highly absorbable source of calcium, providing 2 grams of mineral support for aging bone density. The efficacy of this protocol stems from the combination of inexpensive local ingredients and strict temperature control, achieving results that often exceed those of high-cost supplements. Even the most nutrient-dense meal provides little benefit if the aging digestive tract can only absorb a fraction of what is consumed. A simple physical technique can address this by stimulating intestinal blood flow and improving overall motility. 15 minutes after your meal, place your hands just below the navel and perform 30 slow clockwise circles. This manual stimulation assists the peristalsis required for effective nutrient extraction. While these methods are grounded in physiological data, always consult your physician before altering your diet, especially if you have chronic gallstones or protein allergies. How have you been preparing your eggs? Leave a comment describing your morning routine and visit the link below to download our summary of the longevity protocol. Improving your health after 50 can be significantly influenced by how you treat this one everyday ingredient. By applying these specific methods, we can reclaim the full biological value of one of the most powerful foods